Now, when Disney bought Star Wars, we were all very curious to see where things were going, and for this to be the first live action movie that was not one of the episodes, all I gotta say is good job. We are looking at Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This is a movie that I didn't think I needed, but I'm glad we got it, and I'm glad I saw it because this movie was really good. This was a year after Star Wars The Force Awakens. Actually, later in December, this movie will hit its 10-year mark. That is crazy. And I was very skeptical because this is going to be the first Star Wars movie without a crawl. This was going to be a spin off, it wasn't going to focus on the Skywalkers. And you know what? They did a good job with introducing you new characters. Have fun with it. It's not a flawed movie. Just giving you that, but it for sure is one of my favorite movies in Star Wars. For sure, it's my favorite Disney made Star Wars movie. This is like my favorite thing that Disney has done outside of maybe Andor and The Mandalorian. Um, and why is that? So the movie basically talks about how the Death Star was created. Um, Jin Erso's father was basically taken to create this Death Star, and then Jin Erso has basically been like this boy Girl Scout type of like fighter, just a rebel, basically doing her own thing. At the same time, Cassian Andor has the strict mission to look for a pilot to try and get the plans to stop the Death Star. Um, and you get to learn a lot about these characters just by like the little things that they do. Like for example, Cassian shooting this guy just to survive, Jyn Erso being this badass, but eventually getting trapped and gets saved by Andor, and K2SO, hands down the funniest character in this movie. And K2SO is just very direct. Like when um when Jin and Cassian are gonna work together, he's like, your chances of being killed, right? It's high. It's very high. But my favorite one was gotta be when Jin Erso shoots one of the K2 robots, and then K2SO just looks and goes, you knew that wasn't me, right? And she goes, of course. It was cool to see Saw Gerrera. Apparently, he's the one that trained Jin Erso. But I don't know. I mean, he's better off in the TV series. He was really irrelevant here, and then even his death, and the accent was so annoying. Save the rebellion, save the resistance. Like, no, it just wasn't working. Obviously, this movie was gonna be in the Star Wars universe, so obviously we were gonna get cameos of previous characters, but it didn't take over the story. Like, it heavily focused on being its own thing and its own predecessor. Obviously, you're gonna have stormtroopers. Obviously, you're gonna have other characters in the background. I was afraid that like Darth Vader was gonna be the center focus of this movie. I mean, it would have been cool and all, but I'm just like, no, let's just save him. I'll talk about the scene later. It was really cool to see these characters. Obviously, these two rebel with each other. They fight and argue all the time. But I really got into Donnie Yen's character. A blind man who does not have force powers but knows about the force, and he is one with the force. This is brilliant. Like, this is really cool. Like, someone who believes in the force and believes that he can have the force, but never has truly like the typical powers, but he believes in it. And I just love everything about him. Like, he fights cool. He is very entertaining. I like when they blindfold him. He's like, "Dude, I'm blind." Um, yeah, this guy's character was really good, and I was really happy with the dynamic of all these characters. And for the most part, this movie essentially just follows taking down the plans for to destroy the Death Star. Galen Erso, who is the father of Jyn Erso, is actually the one who built the Death Star, and he knows that this was a horrible plan, which is just like really good that they actually owned up to it, and they fixed something in New Hope that has been a complaint for years, and it is no longer a complaint thanks to this movie. Everybody saw that A New Hope was really dumb to have just like the easiest Death Star shoot ever. Like, oh, you can shoot it right then and there, and then it's over. It was really dumb for years, and then this movie fixed it because the reasoning why that hole was there is because Galen Erso purposely set it up so eventually it could get destroyed. Unfortunately, it does lead to his death. Andor was supposed to kill him, but he just couldn't do it because he was gonna be working with Jin. So it's like you can't do that. And I like that they went that route. Hands down, the best part was the final battle with you know, all of these guys who, even though they just met, they were willing to sacrifice themselves, destroy the Death Star, and save everybody. All credits also to Ben Mendelsohn's performance. Krennic is highly one of the best ones, even though it was kind of silly him and Darth Vader interacting, only for him to just get choked at the end. But he definitely had a presence, and he had like it for it. If anything, I would have preferred if Tarkin was the main villain. Matter of fact, why wasn't Ben Mendelsohn Tarkin? I think that could have also helped it out. It is unfortunate that all these characters die because you could have developed them more and you could have had more time with them. But you know what? Luckily, Andor gave us more time with Cassian. I'm very happy that this was the message it was going. It was basically a group of people who were willing to sacrifice themselves for for the greater good. And then we get to the finale. Oh my goodness. You just hear Darth Vader's helmet. He pulls out a sword. People are shooting at him and he just tears everybody. He's using the force. He's throwing them everywhere. And the guy who has the plans to destroy the Death Star, instead of like running with it, he just goes, "Take it, just take it." He's like, "I'm not gonna survive, just take it with you." And then even though the CG Leia was a little hard to watch just because it looked kind of bad, it was good to see, her face and just go, "We have hope," or like, "What does this mean?" And then she just says hope. So they did a good job of basically working with just the opening crawl to A New Hope and doing the best with it. And I was really happy. I know that the director, Gareth Edwards, had some problems with some of the development of the characters because the main focus was the action and it was his just the fact that you can tell some stuff like they just needed more things to fix, like example, like I said, the development of these characters, but they did the best with what they got. And I was also really happy with just this movie. It was so different than any other Star Wars movie, and it felt unique. It felt like its own thing, and it felt right to have this movie. This movie does unfortunately hurt Starkiller Base when that thing gets destroyed because it makes no sense how Poe Dameron can knock that out without anybody really behind the scenes destroying that. Here they said, you know what, this is how we're gonna do it. I want to give it an A plus, but it is just really hard. There's some little nitpicky things that hurt it, and then plus there you can nitpick everything honestly, but for me, I'm just giving this an A. It is a really good movie, and it's hands down one of my favorite Star Wars movies to watch. I'm giving you my top five Star Wars movies right now. Coming in at number five, The Force Awakens. Coming in at number four, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Coming in at number three, Revenge of the Sith. Coming in at number two, The Empire Strikes Back. And coming in at number one, Star Wars: The Original or A New Hope. Um, yeah, those are my top five Star Wars movies. It's gonna take a while to top them. Let's see if The Mandalorian and Grogu tops it. I'm gonna go see it this weekend, and I'll be reviewing it at the end of uh this series. My next review series will be one of the funniest things I'm gonna be reviewing, and that is the two-part series segments of Robot Chicken Star Wars. Something funny, something different, but I'm very excited to talk about that. I'll see you tomorrow with that review.